What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Hands-On channel. We got us a cold day going on, so I'm out here hanging out in the shop, but I thought I'd share something with you. As we look around here, you can see my shop is just a huge disorganized mess right now, and today I hope to remedy that. I want to build a shelf back here in the back corner, but what started this journey out was I started looking online on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist for some pallet racking. I was just going to go buy a set of pallet racking and something that I could stand up over here, but the problem is I have 9-foot ceilings, so where that bar right there goes across, that's about 9 foot, maybe a little bit more. So I'm limited to like 8 foot or less pallet racking, and there's not a lot of that stuff available. A lot of the pallet racking out there is 10 foot or more. So I was like, well, I could cut it down, I could do things like that. It wasn't totally a lost cause, but my problem is the price. I started looking at the price of some of this stuff, and I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I'll come up with something else and build myself some sort of a shelving unit that'll help me get this mess organized. I've got tools that I can't even get to. Of course, a lot of the problem is all my motorcycles are over here right now, and the reason they're all over here is because I actually have 3 small block Chevrolet engines back there that are at various states of disrepair, and a transmission and all sorts of parts and things, and I need to be able to organize and get some of this stuff out. I've got an extra hot water heater, just on and on and on. Lots of stuff that I need to deal with. Some of my wife's projects, she picks up these old cabinets and we try to restore those and make them look nice. I mean, I've just got junk everywhere that I need to sort out and deal with. So that got me to thinking. A while back I told you guys that I've got pretty much an unlimited supply from my buddy of these pallets that are 10 foot long. He works over at a company that deals with sheet metal and does stuff like that, but I mean, as you can see, I've just got stuff everywhere, projects everywhere, and my table saw just went out, so I'm gonna have to work on that. My wife's new motorcycle, her project motorcycle, I still need to rebuild the carburetor, so I've just got tons of stuff going on. I've got a new vanity over here, or it's not a vanity, it's a kitchen sink cabinet, an old like 1950 style metal cabinet with a porcelain sink on the top. It's all built in to be, it's gonna be used in our cabin, that's the idea. But for now, I have to store it here to keep it out of the weather. So as I was thinking, I was like, you know, could I turn these pallets into a type of pallet racking or shelving at very least? And also the added bonus is after I get these constructed, I'll have these wood slats on the side, so I can screw all sorts of stuff onto the side of that, like extension cords, or maybe hang a ladder over there on the side of it or something like that. I'll figure out several things to store right there on this shelving unit. So my idea is to take 2 of these, stand them up on end, so stand them up to where this will be the bottom and they'll be facing like this, and then connect one across the top and one down through the middle. I'm trying to leave the bottom section kind of open so that I can still slide some of my tools in and out of there, but I want to have at least 2 shelves up nice and high that I'll be able to, you know, store things in. So I don't know how this is going to go. This is the first time I've tried to do this. I have actually made some gates and some fencing for my chickens and things like that, and it worked out really well. And I thought, you know, I could notch these out and lock them together with some wood screws, and I should be able to make a pretty nice shelving unit out of this. First thing I'm going to do is cut these ends off because I don't want it to stick out that far. The way it stands now, it's about 30 inches from stud to stud, and those are double studs. So there's 2 2x4s that are 10 foot long that run the whole length of this thing. So I don't need it to be 10 feet long. I'm going to cut it down to length. I think I'm going to go for about 8 feet tall overall, and hopefully when I screw this thing all together, I'll be able to stand it up, because that's one thing I'm worried about. These things are pretty heavy. All right, since I only want these things to be 8 foot tall, I'm gonna pop these bottom 3 boards here that you see closest to you off, just to make it easier for me to cut it. And also, before I cut the ears off the sides, the extra parts that are hanging out here, I don't want that sticking out. I don't want that much width. I only want the shelf to be it works out to about 28.5 inches, it looks like. I'm just gonna go edge to edge on the 2x4s. I think that'll be a good size for my shelf here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these boards off. All right, that went pretty easy. Next up, I'm gonna get my skill saw out and just cut the edges off, the ears as I'm calling them, the part that sticks out. I'm gonna cut all that off as close to the 2x4 as I can get, keeping it as straight as I can. All right, I think you get the idea. I just got to repeat the process on the other side, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next one. All right now I'm just dry fitting everything, and I wanted to show you guys how I notched these boards to make them fit together. As you can see here, since it was a double stud, two 2x4s running down through there. So what I did was I simply cut the outside section on the boards that were going to be the shelves. So the two that are going to be the shelves, this one and this one, I cut these boards on the outside. On the other one, I cut on the opposite side, on the inside, so that there'd be, hopefully you can see that, so there'd be some notches down in there to accept them. So we're gonna try to plug these together. It worked really well on the other side, so hopefully it'll work as good on this side, and then all I'll have to do is square everything up and then screw it together. Now ideally, lag bolts would probably be better on this, but I don't have any lag bolts right now, so I'm going to use some construction screws. I'll probably put 2 screws in each connection spot, but the one thing I am worried about is this thing is so tall, at 8 foot tall, and it's top heavy. It may be a chore for me to lift this thing up, so I may actually have to wait till tomorrow and call one of my buddies over to help me stand this thing up. Let's see if we can plug it in here. Well, I couldn't get it up past that point. I'm gonna have to get some help on this. We finally got it stood up. I had to get my wife to come out here and help me. And we're sweeping things up right now, getting ready to move the motorcycles out of the way so we can slide this over to its new home. Worked out pretty well. Very sturdy. It's a little bit wobbly this way, but I was telling my wife I could put some X braces on there and that would probably stabilize that quite a lot, or at least run a bar across the bottom down there. And I may do that just to stabilize the bottom. I only left it like this because I need to be able to clearance some of my other saws and be able to slide them in and out from underneath there. So here in a minute we'll have it slid into place. Well guys, that's a wrap. It turned out better than I expected. The thing is very sturdy. As you can see, I've got all kinds of stuff up there, lots of weight on it. Before I put any weight on it, I put my entire body weight on there, which is about 180, 190 pounds. So it held me up and no problem. I'm really happy with this. It's a much cheaper solution than going out and buying a steel pallet rack. And I'll go ahead and walk over there next to it so you guys can see how big it is, kind of get a scale of it. So as you can see, turned out really well. I'm really happy with that. Be able to store all of my stuff up here. And for right now, I've got a lot of stuff up there that's kind of like junk and things that I need to go through. But that'll get it up off the floor and out of my way. And already, even though it's still kind of cluttered over there and I've got a lot of work to go still, it's already feeling a lot better because I was able to open up some space over here and now I can just walk around better and I'll be able to clean my bench off here, my main workbench, and I think this is going to work out really well for me. So guys, let me know what you think about this project. I think it turned out fantastic, better than I could have expected. I'm really happy with that. It took me 4 10-foot long pallets to do this, but again, it's very rigid. I was able to get my ladders hung up over here on the right side, which is what one of my goals was, and to get my extension cords kind of hung up and all in one place. I'm just really happy with this. I'll still have to move my motorcycles out of the way to get back in there because I got to have a place to park my bikes. So they'll go right there when we're all said and done. But yeah, this is a wrap for this project. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you have any ideas, things that I could build out of these pallets without having to break them down, because they're really hard to break down. Even with my special tool that I made, I break the boards a lot of times, and I'd rather just use them whole if I can without having to break them down. So I'm thinking of building a cabin, and my wife, when she was out here looking at it, she was like, man, that's like a bunk bed. If you set this up right here like a bunk bed and had another one standing right here next to it, we could frame that in and make a really small, one-room cabin with 2 bunk beds. And yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit. You can build whatever you want.